This is a laptopscreen.com screen replacement video for an ASUS N750JK model at 17.3 inches. It is in matte finish, and we are going to witness the unboxing to the install and make sure it works. I'm about to power on the computer so you can see that we are actually fixing a broken screen. Now let's take a look at where our screws are hiding. The first two are underneath these little plastic covers, which are stuck there with an adhesive. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our X-Acto knife and pop those open. And once we get those off, it's kind of tricky when you first do it, but once you get them off, just set them aside and we'll put them back on as the last things to polish this off. This is what they look like. They're really small, so take care of them. You don't want to lose them if you care about aesthetics. Once we get them off, we'll be able to get our first two screws out and get underway. Now that we have the screws out, as you can see, we're just going to pry this open with our fingers, just like that, and keep going all the way around until we've gotten it loose. Now that we have it loose, our next goal is to completely take it away from the frame. Now down below there is a hitch in which this is stuck on, so you're going to want your screen all the way back. Just give it a tug and out it'll come. Now you can do the same to the other side and our faceplate is off. Now for the rest of the screws, we have 4 down here, 1 on each side, 1 in the top corner each corner, and 2 in the middle. Now that we have all of our screws out, let's take a look at where our cable's connected. Down below, you'll notice there's a little cord hanging out, and we're going to want to be mindful of that so we don't rip it out. There's tape on the back. As we get a closer look, what we're going to want to do is peel back the black tape from each side and fold it over so it doesn't get back in our way. Underneath that black tape, there is a piece of clear tape. We're going to want to get that out of the way as well. Let's get to it. Now that we've gotten that off, let's grab our new screen. Once we have the new screen in place, we'll notice we need to take another step. And that step is taking the old rails off of the old screen and putting them on the new screen. As you'll see on the side, there they are. There are full screws in each end, and they are both labeled left and right. And they start from 1 down at the bottom to 4 at the top. And you need to put them on each side before you can secure your screen. Once we take it all apart, we'll be able to fasten it securely and make sure it does not move. Now that we have added our rails and our tape from the old screen, we will plug it back in and tape it all up the way we found it. I have added a piece of packing tape, 3M packing tape, to make sure that the cable does not get jostled loose and I don't have to take it all apart again. Now we're going to line it up and make sure everything looks good before screwing it all back together. Now that we have a couple of screws in place, let's turn it on and see what it looks like. Everything looks good so far, and we can continue putting screws in. Now that we have all the screws fastened in and made sure that we're tight, let's put on the front fascia that makes it all look pretty again. Now, as you can see on the sides, there is double-sided 3M tape. You're not going to want to use this on this particular ASUS model, so just don't peel it off. It will become your worst nightmare to try to get this fascia off again if you decide to break another screen like I did. Now, as you can see there, I just took my screwdriver, popped it in place once I got the first side in, and then slowly worked my way around the outside, making sure it all clips in. Now that we have the front fascia back on, let's put those screws back in and the covers on. If you want to, you can leave the covers off. That is totally up to you. They're just purely there for cosmetic reasons. Now that we got those front fascia screws in and the covers on, let's take a look at what the old screen looked like up against the new screen. As you can see, the old screen has quite a bit more glare in the matte finish than the new screen. Upon powering it back on, it looks magnificent. I wouldn't change anything. Laptopscreen.com came through. It was pretty easy for a first timer, and I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. Laptopscreen.com, ASUS screens, any screen. Get your screen today.